All right.
Hello.
Hello, everyone.
Good morning or afternoon, I guess now, and welcome to this track 3 on day 3 of the Big O. We're now going to be looking at the Montreal Roller Derby, new Skids on the block, playing Sacramento Roller Derby's Capital MaulStars.
And skating for Montreal momentarily is 008 Lowrider, 03 Zelda, 1017 Bigley Smalls, 123 Miracle Whips, 13 Alcatraz, 1773 Magnum PEI, 18 Badger, 19 Free Shavakadu, 204 Scartu Beachu, 22 Rogue Runner, 289 Cheese Grater, 44 Paper Cut, 59 Kaio Kensi, 82 I, 66 Falcon Punch, 999 KT Kaboon, and 9999 Mangeois El Cool.
And for Sacramento, we have 0618 Pink Freud, 1006 Nail Her Swift, 108 Name a Slay, 117 She Raw, 123 Crystal, 1492 Kista, 17 Rhodes Warrior, 18 Body, 1985 Con Artist, 451 Shock and Auburn, 58 Blushy Lushy, 606 Areola Twister, 67 Rose Villain, 911 Fire Engine, and 970 Nar Nar Jinx.
And with that whistle, we are about to start this derby. Wait for it. Wait
Here
for
we go.
it.
I now know how long I have to wait for it.
No more seconds. On the line, it's Miracle Whips against Ariella Twister. Miracle Whips in black for Montreal, Ariella in white for Sacramento. And we have our first penalty of the day, a forearm against Miracle Whips, giving Ariella Twister and Sacramento the lead.
Ariella Twister finding a way to slide around the outside, get through. It's going to be 4 points on the board for Sacramento. And capitalizing on this power jam, another 4 points up on the board for Sacramento. Going to call off that jam. Was freezing. The jammer in the penalty box, I believe.
Yes, Miracle Whips remains in the box.
I can't actually see the box, so this is all speculation on my part.
Where is it? Oh, yeah. I guess I can kind of see the top of it.
Score after one is 8-0.
And on that Derby Warehouse jam line is Body for Sacramento, pushing up to the end of the Montreal wall, getting some assistance from every one of the Sacramento skaters.
Inside line gets a lead. That's 2 in a row for Sacramento.
And with Miracle Whips coming around, having gotten onto the scoring pass, Sacramento calls off the jam with 1 point on the board.
Brings the score to 9-0 after 2. And we're going to reset with all of the people.
We
Except
do
for
have one Sacramento blocker in the box.
I got there.
So we see number 22 in black, Rogue Runner for Montreal, against Namaslay in white for Sacramento. And Namaslay pushing through the middle seam, just trying to shove the wall forward, being very effective until number 13, that's Alcatraz, pushes to the inside.
Lead is given to Roadrunner.
And what a recycle back. That is pivot number 008 Zelda, I believe.
Blocking with the head?
Maybe. And that is illegal contact, sending a Sacramento blocker This is our second Sacramento blocker into the box, so Sacramento wall is now only 2.
And only one hand out of bounds means Rogue Runner stays in play. 4 points delivered. Montreal's now on the board.
And we have seen a star pass. The new jammer of record is Crystal for Sacramento. That leaves one blocker on the track for Sacramento. Now being joined by 970 Narnar Jinx. And a cutting the track penalty takes out the Montreal pivot. That was indeed number 008, Lowrider.
Montreal up to 16 on the jam. Rogue Runner able to complete another scoring pass. That's going to be 25 so far.
Apex jump and 4 points. Great landing from Montreal.
24 for Montreal on that jam. Score 24-9 now.
And we have seen great things from both of these teams during this entire Big O. Sacramento had a tremendous win against Evil from Edmonton. It was a 2-point game.
Ooh,
Edge of my seat.
those are super fun. Ariella Twister is the jammer for Sacramento. But lead, it goes to Body from Montreal.
And we've got a jammer race coming up to the end of the pack. Calling off the jam, Sacramento able to pick up 2 points in that jam.
Yeah, jammer from Montreal on that last jam was Badger, excuse me. Score 24-11 after 4.
Skating for Montreal, it is KO Kenzie up against Sacramento's own Body. Oh, I think it's Kyle.
It's Kyle.
Yeah. And in the lead, but being recycled back, Kyo Kenzie taking a moment to reassess.
Looking for a spot on the outside, but Traz not allowing that.
Body taking the inside line, being shoved out by, well, every member of that 3-wall from Montreal.
Kyo Kenzie picking up 4, leaning down low to slip around.
Cheese
Sacramento
grater.
blocker.
Cheese grater doing a mighty recycle to Body.
Jammer is now Crystal from Sacramento, who is out and scoring eligible.
This is the second time we've seen Crystal go from pivot to jammer in this game.
It's going to bring the score, it was 8 for Montreal on the jam, going to bring the score to 32-11.
So I'm sure you've seen them in the vendor village, but Hit This Derby Gear is the exclusive skate shop for the Big O. Before you hit the track, hit this. Visit them today.
Jimmy, now we got Scar to beat you for Montreal up against Namaste for Sacramento. Scar to beat you, getting an early lead.
Zelda 03 from Montreal going into the penalty box. And we're seeing quite a deep bench of jammers from Montreal, each one of them as effective as the last.
8 points so far for Scar to beat you. Able to catch up with this very fast pack. No sitting in the apex for these players.
And give it up for that jam. What great speed.
It's going to be 40-11 now. "21 minutes left in this half.
And some shuffling right before that whistle from the pivot line to the jammer line. Miracle Whips the lead for Montreal. Ariella Twister still fighting the good fight.
Miracle Whip is headed to the penalty box on a forearm. Not sure. Looks like lead was awarded. No, there was a little bit of confusion, but lead was not awarded. It was a penalty instead, so lead does go to Ariella Twister. She is the lead of this jam.
And Ariella gets right out. Happy to see it.
She got 4 points already on the jam, headed back into the pack.
And juking right around most of that wall, coming to the inside, then calls it.
That was 7 for Sacramento on the jam, 18 now for them, 40 for Montreal. We got just under 20 minutes left in the half, and we're lining up again. We've got Pink Floyd jamming for the first time for Sacramento up against Rogue Runner, who's out fast and is lead.
Rogue Runner scooting on one knee to get to the outside. Then jumping through to get to the inside, makes it across that apex. Pink Floyd out. Rogue Runner sees it, calls off the jam with 4 points gained for an 8-point jam.
Brings the score to 48-18.
And I'm sure you know this, but the social media team is working feverishly all weekend to bring you live tweets and Facebook coverage throughout the event. The event is the Big O. The time is now. The place is here. The social media is Twitter and Facebook.
We have Namaste jamming up against Badger. Badger very quickly picks up a lead for Montreal.
Badger gets just a can opener from KT Kaboom, opening up the inside line and making it so easy to just scoot through.
But that forced call off because Namaste had gotten out means they only score 4 points in this jam. Going to be 52-18.
I don't know. I like that we no longer count the jammer as a point. It makes it so much easier for everyone.
Not everyone. Counting by 5s is way easier than counting by 4s. My mental math capacity is much more important than the ease and comfort of the game.
Look at that backward skating by Kaio Kenzie.
Ariella Twister is the jammer of record for Sacramento.
And I believe we have a high block and a directional penalty, taking one blocker from each team into the box.
What is this camera person doing?
And that's the door. We're at track 3.
Is there an injury or are they just...
And that's the track. And everything's going okay.
Is there an injury I don't see? Because it looks like somebody there's a camera up.
I think that they locked the camera and they don't know what's going on. And I'm not sure you can see this at home because you've mostly got officials' feet on your camera. Okay, we're back. Here we are, back in the Derby. Scar2 BTU is jamming for Montreal up against Body from Sacramento. And once again, a great pivot hit opening up the inside wall. That's 008 Lowrider from Montreal.
So the jammer is Ariella Twister. She's in the box. Body was sent back to the bench because you can only have one jammer, turns out.
That is true. One jammer per team on the track at any given time.
4 points to start to beat you already, and Ariella Twister is now back in the action. Everybody is now adhering to the one jammer per team rule.
And I believe that Ariella had not completed her scoring pass, but the game or the jam was called, and we're moving to the next jam as we do.
Score 64 to 18.
And with that whistle, we will take a moment. Looks like the officials have some officialing to do. So they are going to take a timeout. And I will mention that this is a WFTDA game. And if you want more information on the WFTDA Continental Cups or their hosts, please visit WFTDA.com/cups. And you will get so much more derby in your life at such a great high level.
It is true.
Rolling whistle means we're coming back.
And jamming from Montreal, we have Miracle Whips up against Namaste from Sacramento.
Miracle Whip seeing that number 970, Narnar Jinx, also stepped to the inside line. Therefore, no recycle needed. That was a hard hit from Sacramento. 0618 Pink Freud up against Miracle Whips.
Looks like we have no lead here. So Miracle Whips isn't lead, neither is Namaste. Four apiece.
I believe that Miracle Whips did not pass every single player in while they were in play. And unfortunately, Namaste thought that Miracle Whips had the lead, took off the helmet cover, and therefore lost the opportunity to get the lead. So no lead. Everybody will heed the jam timer and end at 2 minutes.
It's a scoring free-for-all, 8 apiece so far.
And we now have 3 Sacramento players, 2 blockers and 1 pivot in the box, leaving 1 lonely blocker on the track to both assist the jammer and to block out Miracle Whips. I do not envy that player.
That player is Rose Villain, doing a great job playing offense for Namaste. Breaks her free, although Miracle Whips is up to 20 on the jam, and Namaste still got caught and recycled on her 3rd scoring pass.
And that was an aggressive hit to the inside. Turned out to be a forearm hit. KT Kaboom goes into the penalty box for Montreal. We have now swapped out all the blockers from Sacramento in the box. Now it's all Montreal blockers in the box. 1 blocker, 1 pivot.
So how does that shake out? 12 for Sacramento, 24 for Montreal, 88 to 30. 13 minutes left in the half.
And I will point out that we have such an extreme ranking difference between these 2 teams. If I recall correctly, last I saw on WFTDA.com, Montreal is ranked 9, and Sacramento is ranked approximately 40 after their games of this weekend. I'm super impressed with Sacramento today, and I'm super impressed with Body catching that lead before Rogue Runner could.
Just exploding through the middle, no, barely touched. Now back.
And
Scores
Sacramento rushing that pack, calling that jam. Give it up for Sacramento All-Stars. That was amazing.
That's what your blocker friends are for. Just hold the line, open a little door, scooch through. Got 4 to Sacramento, 1 to Montreal on that jam. using the +5 button and then just minusing 1. Jamming, now we have Badger up against Montreal. Badger jamming for Montreal up against Ariella Twister for Sacramento.
Badger showing so much agility, practically doing a handstand to the outside line, keeping the toe stops in bounds, able to get the lead afterwards. And with Ariella Twister coming around to engage the back of the pack, that is the jam.
It's going to be 4 for Montreal. 93-34, 11 and a half minutes left in the half.
And as our jammers approach the Derby Warehouse jam line, we call it the Derby Warehouse jam line because derbywarehouse.com has all your derby gear needs, and they have been a strong supporter of this Big O. And we want to say their name as often as possible in copious thanks for their support. And we've got the time to do that because we have an official timeout.
This looks like a team. Oh, this is a first timeout, but.
Aha, I was reading the scoreboard rather than the jam timer. That'll teach me.
This is a team timeout for Montreal.
With this moment, please regard Eugene Cascades and Coast. Real adventure, real close. Plan your Oregon vacation at Eugene Cascades and Coast for all your vacation needs. It's a quiet time on the coast.
Is it now?
It's a beautiful, bird-filled, serene time.
That sounds very nice.
Where you can relax after all of your hustle and bustle of your roller derby day.
Tack a vacation on before or after your Big O next year.
It's like a spa for your mind.
Ooh.
Eugene Cascades and Coast.
No, I'm just picturing somebody steaming my mind. And it's very uncomfortable.
You know what? I bet if you go to Goop, they'll tell you all about that.
Oh, boy.
Steam your mind. The rest will follow. We're back on the track.
Kaio Kenzie immediately picking up lead for Montreal. Nemaslay in the pack for, Pink Floyd.
And look at how fast Kaio Kenzie is able to just shoot around the track, re-engage the inside, and cut through. I think we're just going to see what Kaio Kenzie can do for 24 and 7, right?
Who's an immediate
27 and 5, 23 and 12.
I mean, if it's a 5-minute jam, we have bigger problems. It's going to be a cut call.
And if you can do 27 and 2, I want to talk to you about the Olympics.
Yeah. It's a cut call on Kaio Kenzie losing lead. This is going to be a 2-minute jam. There was a star pass, so the jammer is Pink Floyd for Sacramento.
And a cut track penalty is taking another Monterey blocker off of the track. That is number 62, I. With star in hand, we see that the pivot becomes the jammer, and Pink Floyd is reapproaching the track on a scoring pass. And to Freud's advantage for a while there, Monterey was skating forward rather than holding a static wall. And I gotta say, it is harder to keep people back when you are maintaining momentum. Doesn't seem to bother Montreal at all as they recycle back.
It's a low rider and I at the back. Montreal does a great job of that one-on-one blocking, so you're not necessarily free if you get past the wall.
Yeah, I've noticed with with Montreal.
Very far apart from each other.
Very far apart. Two different countries, in fact.
Touché.
With Montreal, they definitely have the ability. We have a lot of jammers able to come up on the roster. We have a lot of people able to do multiple strategies as blockers and pivots. A lot of tools in the toolbox for each Monterey player.
It's 99-38 going into Jam 16. Kaio Kenzie, the jammer for Montreal. Ariella Twister for Sacramento is the lead.
I've seen so much good work from Ariella Twister this weekend. I am thrilled to see more of that sweet juking, that ducking down, avoiding hits, and just getting past every member of the team, just like that.
4 points up on the board for Ariella Twister. Two points for Montreal, 5 total for Sacramento, 101-43 with just under 8 minutes left in the this half of the game.
And if anyone in the house here on track 3, anyone on protection, anyone on help, has any paper towels or just regular towels, there's been a little bit of a spill on aisle Sacramento. It's just water, no worries, but paper towels would be super appreciated.
And we've got Body jamming for Sacramento up against Scar2B2. Thank you, track maintenance, or you AMT, whoever you are, very nice person with a towel.
And up comes Body in the lead, being chased so fast by Scar2B2. Body calls it in the center, picking up 2 points, locking out Montreal.
This is 45-101. Score is awesome.
I am so thrilled at the way Sacramento is playing today. Such great fight. I have a feeling that we're going to see a lot more of Sacramento in the coming years, just clawing up the ranks.
Because they, since the merger anyway. Right, because they kept their rankings. They didn't restart.
I don't remember which one they kept though.
Jamming now, we have Namaste up against Miracle Whips. Miracle Whips picks up a quick lead for Montreal.
And great hammer and nail from 451 and 1492. Shocking Auburn and Kista from Sacramento in a valiant attempt to keep Miracle Whips shoved to the inside line.
You know, Keith's full name is Marcus Adorable, and Twitter was not okay with that.
You know what? I'm happy that she changed it. I'm happy that she did an immediate. I don't want to do this because they were right.
Because she's white, right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
So that means that she's on the wrong side. You know, she's on the killing side.
Like, if you were native and your name was Conquistadorable, I'd be like, oof.
Still on the wrong side.
You'd still be like, you know, that's ironic. But if you're white and that's your name,
No.
that's not okay.
Miracle Whips coming around for another 4 points, bringing it to 8 so far for the jam. And unfortunately, we do have a Sacramento blocker going into the box, giving 1 blocker from each team some penalty time. And a forearm taking another player to the box. That is the Montreal pivot. Number 9999, Monge. And Monge is joined by another blocker. I believe that's Bigley Smalls.
Right at the end there, blocking that apex drop is Shocking Auburn. Gonna hold Montreal to 16 on the jam, 117-48. 3 going to Sacramento, 4.5 about in the half. No, there isn't. It.
There we go.
That's Ariella Twister up against Rogue Runner. Ariella Twister is lead.
Rogue Runner coming up so fast. The pack is speeding up with the thought that Ariella can get past that fast pack. catch up, and indeed was able to score 3 points before calling off that jam and shutting out Montreal.
Three and a half now left in this half. 117 to 51.
And as we've seen for much of the game, we have one player from each team in the bench, or not on the bench, in the penalty box. Badger taking the lead for Montreal.
Finding a great line on the outside. Body just exploding through the middle and is now scoring eligible as well. 4 in the air for Badger. Going to force that call off. Brings 121 to 51.
And up comes K.O. Kenzie for Montreal against Namaslay for Sacramento. Namaslay takes the lead. 2 more players go into the box. Pivot from Sacramento, blocker from Montreal.
Four in the air for Namaslay.
And as that happens, 4 in the air for Montreal. A great hit from number 13, Alcatraz, taking Namaslay to the outside, allowing Montreal to take the score lead as Namaslay fights against the Montreal wall.
Kyle Kenzie making a third scoring pass. Namaslay still on her second. Looks like they're going to run this one long.
And we did have Kyo Kenzie go into the penalty box. Therefore, it is a power jam for Namaslay. Namaslay, we end the jam with Montreal ahead in points, but a power jam to start the next jam for Sacramento. She might have gotten 3 points. They're figuring that out right now. Because we haven't seen the points for the last jam. And it looks like the officials are figuring out the points for the last jam, as they have not been added into the scoreboard. So sit tight while we figure that out.
See an official review signal on the jam line. Looks like they're pointing at Sacramento.
So it's possible that the Sacramento team feels that there should be some points either added to their team or subtracted from the opposition, and we'll find out.
White is asking for a form call on black 1-3.
And for those of you at home, indeed, that is what we're figuring out.
No call will stand. White will not rein their official review for the first period.
And for those of you at home, the no call will stand. So honestly, why not have an official review with a little under 2 minutes left in the half? You get another official review at the second half. So if you feel strongly about something, why not ask for it? Right now, we have Kyo Kenzie in the penalty box for Monterey. Namaste starting with a power jam up against the mighty force of Manche as the pivot. And Namaste takes that might, turns around, makes it into the lead.
It's Montreal. It's Montreal. No, you keep saying Monterey.
Your brain is taking over your brain.
Namaste already 4 in on the jam. Taking on again, tying it up on the jam for 8, Kaiokenzi.
And a great, not even apex, but straightaway leap.
Oh, it's broken. Shouldn't be paying attention to it. I thought it was 8-4, like the score where we said. Okay. 6 on the jam for Sacramento, 4 on the jam for Montreal. Score is 136 to 64. Now
this is a-
Montreal is calling an official review.
And once again, if you've got a question with 4 seconds left on the clock, why not have that question? For those of you who are local to Eugene, we will be having our after party tonight. We've had after parties for every night, but this is the last one. This is the most after. And it will be at Spectrum Bar at 150 West Broadway. Please celebrate another year of Big O and dance the night away with DJ Agent Meow.
Black is asking for a destruction call in the initial trip of the last jam.
So I did not quite hear what the official review is about, but they are deliberating at the moment. So if you wish to join us at the after party, wear your best denim or diamonds, or even better, wear both. At 10 o'clock, it's ages 21 and over. At Spectrum Bar. There will also be an all ages after party at Sizzle Pie, 910 Willamette Street. Delicious pizza and fun for everyone of every age. Sizzle Pie.
Sizzle pie is so tasty.
It's so good.
Go get your sizzle pie.
No call will stand. Black will lose their official review for the first period. Thank you.
So for both teams who tried to get an official review at the very end of this half, the no calls stand. The official reviews are lost, but that's okay. They'll get second half official review opportunities.
The problem is you can't hear them over the microphones from the next.
Up comes Scar to beat you in the lead already, but Body on a fast chase. Hard hit from Sacramento. That was 58 blushy lushy.
Great work there by Kista. Breaking free Body, although there was almost a big recycle by Lowrider, who gets a penalty and heads to the box right after. 8-4, Montreal picks up 4 more on that. Going to be 144 to 68 as we head into the half.
So everyone, thank you for joining us for this half of the game. We hope you come back to us in a little under 10 minutes, and we'll give you a little more information about that. You'll come see some more spectacular roller derby from these two teams.
Sounds good to me.
All right.
Oh, we're up. Hello. Welcome back to this game.
This is the game of Montreal New Skids on the Block versus Sacramento Roller Derby Capital MaulStars.
Score coming back from the half is 144 for Montreal, 68 for Sacramento. You're looking at a beautiful points per jam graphic on your screen if you're at home. You're not if you're in the venue.
If you're in the venue, you would see that the most points in a jam scored by Sacramento was 12, and the most scored by Montreal in a jam was 24, which they did twice. That's math.
Is that math or is that just reporting numbers?
That's presentational numbers, let's be honest.
There's no math involved. You're just reading numbers off a screen.
Listen, you know, I have a Master of Science in not math.
I was an English major.
And here we are back to the first jam of the second half of this very exciting game. We now see from Montreal Falcon Punch jamming against Sacramento's Ariella Twister. And up comes Ariella, first lead jam of the half.
Ariella Twister gets some space to work, takes a huge leap, doesn't quite get in bounds though. That's the recycle by Monge in the back. Ariella's not going to try the line, decides that's not working out, calls it off. It's 2 for 2 trade. Oh wait, is that 3? Hold on.
It's hard to tell from this distance. We'll find out from the scoreboard op in just a moment.
It is. It's 3 for Montreal, 2 for Sacramento.
So Montreal being fast enough to grab those points before Ariella could call off the jam.
And here we go again. We got body for Sacramento. Jamming against Rogue Runner. A nice recycle by Kista and Narnar.
And a cutting the track penalty sends body into the penalty box. And also Rogue Runner. It looks like we've got a twofer of jammer penalties.
It's going to mean it's a 2-minute jam.
And almost instantly, each jammer is returned to the track.
Body holds on, hugging that outside line around the apex, then cuts in and is now got the scoring power.
And again, with that fast and broken up pack, Montreal is getting in some good hits and amazing positional blocking. Boom. In goes Monge to make a full recycle, even as a single moving player. That's incredible and impressive.
Beautiful hit up front. Kista and Narnar forcing a recycle, but Rogan are able to get out. 4 points on the board for Montreal.
And another hammer and nail. The nail falls to the floor for Montreal. That's a no pass, no penalty, releasing the player.
It's Free Shavakadu and Monge guarding the outside line, causing the repeated recycle. Makes even more time for Rogue Runner. 12 total on the jam for Montreal, 159 to 74.
A high block penalty unfortunately took Sacramento jammer body into the penalty box, giving a power jam start to Montreal. That is Badger taking the lead. Badgers scoring 4 points, taking the inside, getting some good openings there by number 13, Alcatraz, and number 289, Cheese Grater. Doesn't even need that help, just leaps through the inside of the unformed Sacramento wall. Sacramento's not going to let that happen twice. Wall is fully formed. And Body comes in. It scores 4 points at that last moment.
Courtesy of Con Artist, who bought Body a little bit of time with that big hit on the jammer at the end of that jam.
And up comes Ko Kenzie and Namaslay. Ko Kenzie getting the lead. And a directional penalty taking Sacramento blocker number 17, or pardon me, 17, Rhodes Warrior into the penalty box.
Ko Kenzie able to push around Rose Villain, gets 4 on that pass. And this time untouched on the inside line, another 4 for Ko Kenzie.
And Villain's penalty was reassessed, I assume in the moment, sent back on the track.
Some repeated recycling here by Montreal. No. And while that's happening, Ko Kenzie is continuing to score up to 12-16 now.
Mistaken. It was a full penalty box on the blocker side. Villain didn't have a place to sit, so went back on the track until that space was open.
Sacramento able to put together a brace 3-wall at the front, slowing Ko Kenzie down. Also make some space for Namaslay, the jammer of record, able to break out. Forces the call up. We'll see what the final points tally is. 20 for Montreal in the jam, 190 for them, 78 for Sacramento.
Now we're starting to see more of a point spread there within each jam. We've seen some high-scoring jams from Montreal, usually with Sacramento bringing in some points of their own. This time, shutouts.
Scar 2B2 jamming up against Ariella Twister. Scar 2B2 picks up a lead on the outside.
And again, a fast-moving Montreal wall. And we're going to take a moment, take the EMTs to the track. That is why we have them, everyone. Just going to take a quiet moment for everything to get taken care of. We'll be right back with you. Thank you, EMTs. Thank you, everyone.
To catch you back up, we're about 23 minutes in the game. Scores 193 to 78.
And with both jammers on the line, we see a sort of mixed blocker arrangement and an immediate directional penalty being called against Sacramento's 58, Blushy Lushy, as Falcon Punch from Montreal gets the lead.
Falcon Punch quickly puts 4 on the board. Body now also scoring eligible, finds a line around the outside of the pack for 4 of her own.
And quickly, Falcon Punch gets an answering 4 points.
Eight total for Montreal, 4 for Sacramento on this jam so far.
This brings Montreal over the 200-point mark. And after a hit from Montreal, an answering hit from Sacramento, it doesn't stop the recycle, but it stops the forward momentum of that blocker. Kista gets a great hit to the outside. Unfortunately, also goes to the outside in the course of that momentum. Everyone joins together. And again, great offense from number 9999 from Montreal, Monge, as Fire Engine from Sacramento goes into the penalty box.
That's going to be the end of the jam. Largest jam of the game so far, 28 for Montreal. 8 go to Sacramento, 21 to 86.
Rogue Runner versus Pink Floyd. Rogue Runner taking the lead. Pink Floyd going to the box. This is a power jam for Montreal. And a cutting the track penalty, taking She-Ra, blocker from Sacramento, into the box as well. So a very light Sacramento wall in the time of power for Montreal. And you can see that Fire Engine came through, had been made a goat by Montreal's wall. And why not? Since there was not an opposing jammer on the track. And that is a back block being called, taking out, again, Sacramento's own Pink Floyd. A double power jam. And serving extra time for insubordination. So this will be a 1-minute power jam for Montreal.
Montreal blockers now dividing up the pack every time Rogue Runner comes through in order to make it so she doesn't even need to slow down as she skates by.
She-Ra coming in for a 1-player hit. And just as that jam ends, Montreal does have one blocker in the box.
Going to be a 32-point jam for Rogue Runner. One of the largest I've seen since the scoring rule change.
And definitely the largest of this game. It is harder to get to those 32 points 4 points at a time rather than 5 points at a time.
And we see an official time out right now. It's a good time to remind you that the Big O is brought to you in part by the acclaimed Rydell Solaris. The performance you demand, the comfort you've been missing. Check out Solaris at the Rydell booth.
You know what, Tober? I have been missing that comfort.
I imagine so.
And I do demand performance.
I would hope you demand performance.
So therefore, I think the Solaris is a perfect fit for me.
But is it now?
Well, let's just see how well I'll be comforted by it.
Rydell is from my home, well, not my home, from my current state.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, they're like 2 hours south of where I live right now.
Sweet. Can you tour their factory?
You can, and it used to be, and I think they might still do this by appointment, but you could make an appointment for them to like custom fit you if you wanted.
I need to go visit you so I can check out this whole Rydell experience.
Yeah, we can go to Red Wing, get lunch, meet Rydell. It'd be great.
That would be amazing. And we're back on the track. 5 seconds to go. Everyone gathering themselves. And we are off. It is Badger from Montreal against Pink Floyd from Sacramento. Pink Floyd at last being released from the box after 3 penalties in the last jam.
Lead headed to Badger.
And Badger approaching, getting great assistance from Magnum PEI at the front of the pack.
Four all around right now.
Montreal making the determination that even though the other player is out for scoring pass, it makes more sense to just keep the jam running. And now we have a pivot and a blocker from Sacramento in the penalty box. We now have a blocker from Montreal joining them. And with 17 minutes left to go in the game, that jam is called. 16-point jam, not bad.
Not bad at all.
Nah, that's 4 full circuits. So we've talked about other sponsors. Now I want to talk about Derby Warehouse. Sponsor of the Jam Line, visit derbywarehouse.com for all your Derby gear needs with free shipping, free returns. Derby Warehouse.
Jamming out, we have Kyle Kenzie from Montreal up against Namaste from Sacramento.
Namaste getting rolled to the inside line. Recycled back, just like Kyle Kenzie. And with a quick affirmation, Colin M. Fairley says yes. Namaste is in the lead. Rolling all the way back, Namaste comes up against the mighty force of Montreal's wall. Yes, knocks one over, but gets nailed to the outside and calls it off. Does, however, achieve, is that 3 or 4 points? That is
Looks
3
like 3
points.
Yes, 3 points.
And speaking of those officials, I don't think we've mentioned who they are.
We didn't, we should say.
So we've got Jens Hutker, Ninja, Colin M. Fairley, Whack Job, PH Demon, Ren Stick, and Doesn't Matter. We then got Hoffenroll and Guacamole. Non-skating officials.
We've got Hoffenroll, Danger Muffin, Justice Deliver Her, Judge It in Fury, Sawed Off, Demolish Her, Scissor Switch, and Tenacious D-Cup.
And we've also got one more time, Montreal's Scar 2 Beat You. in the lead. Rhodes Warrior taking the star for the first time for Sacramento.
Scar TB2 is scoring and 4 points up on the board.
Rhodes Warrior, one of the instrumental people in combining the Sacramento teams from Sacred and Sac City into our current Sacramento team.
That one gets called off. 2 goes to Sacramento. 8 goes to Montreal. This is a good time to let you know that Mother's Day is in a week, and Strong Athletic has Strong Athletic grandma and mom shirts. Plus, if you order one here, we'll ship it for free. Find us next to the Wicked Skatewear booth.
That's a sweet thing for Strong Athletic to do.
It's true.
And this is an official timeout. The officials on the outside line having a bit of a chit chat, which gives us the opportunity to tell you about the Eugene Weekly. Eugene Weekly is Lane County's local alternative free newspaper. Your insight into Eugene can be found online at eugeneweekly.com.
That sounds perfect.
Falcon punch against body. And a big fall to the ground. Sends a blocker back for recycling. That's 999 KT Kaboom. And who's out in front? It's body. And a forearm penalty just got called against Sacramento blocker.
Everybody's scoring eligible. Body is now 4 points up on the jam.
And
Tap out by Montreal during that apex jump.
Number 985. No, 1985. Begging your pardon. That's Con Artist. Initially came out, knocked into the inside, did not incur cutting the track penalty from the opposition, unfortunately incurred their own penalty. Alas.
Alas.
It is the sad story of derby penalties. Narnar Jigs re-entering the pack as a blocker. And that is an official review being called by Montreal. We'll see how that goes. So we'll find out in a moment what the official review was called for at the end of that jam. So while the officials talk amongst themselves, please never forget the Derby Warehouse. Derby Warehouse would never forget you. They have all of your derby gear needs.
Black was asking for a point correction in the first scoring trip. Point was corrected. Thank you.
And unfortunately, with 3 tracks of derby, it gets pretty loud in here, even with microphones. And unfortunately, I wasn't quite clear on what the official review was called for. However, whatever call it was for was not upheld. The official review is removed from Montreal, but they get the lead. So Rogue Runner taking the lead. What a hard hit from Bigley Smalls. And again, the inside line seems to be Rogue Runner's best friend right now.
Everybody's scoring eligible.
Rhodes Warrior almost able to make it out to the outside line.
This would be a power jam for Montreal as a cut called on Rhodes Warrior on the outside.
And coming up on 16 points, Rogue Runner has now broken the 300-point mark for Montreal. And a cutting the track penalty against Rogue Runner ends that reign of this jam, releases Rhodes Warrior back onto the track. And we will see the full 2 minutes. There's only 30 seconds left in that full 2 minutes, but we're going to see it. Con artist from Sacramento returning to the penalty box. So while Montreal has a full pack, they don't yet have a jammer on the track. That's going to be fixed soon. And with a very sneaky entrance, really impressive, Montreal is able to put 4 more points just at the last moment.
It's going to be 3:12 to 109. 10 minutes left in this game. Team timeout being called by Sacramento.
And I mentioned this at the first half, but we do have an after party. We'd love to see you at the after party. We'd like you to party at the after party. And where might that after party be? It is at Spectrum Bar at 150 West Broadway. Celebrate another year of the Big O and dance the night away with DJ Agent Meow. Wear your best denim or diamonds, or even better, wear both. It's at 10 p.m. It's 21 and over.
And don't forget, if you're looking for an all ages after party, you can go to Sizzle Pie at 910 Wilmette. I don't know. Willamette Street. Delicious pizza and fun for everyone of every age. Willamette.
See, that's how they trick us into showing whether or not we're local.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And I've been corrected on that name enough that I'm not local, but now I've started to learn how to pronounce it. And that was the end of that timeout. The rolling whistle bringing the team back onto the track. And we have Sacramento's Namaste going up against Montreal's Badger. And as those words exit my mouth, Badger has already taken the lead. What I find interesting about Montreal's strategy right now is that the team is less concerned with maintaining a solid rolling wall, and they are more concerned with individual blocking and the ability to just break up the other team's wall. So while the team will do a solid wall when the occasion arises, that's not the top priority. That's not their go-to. And indeed, right now, when they had a moment to regroup, the team went to a 2-wall and a floating blocker player. And that has been just devastating in terms of the defense-offense combo. Sacramento impressively able to keep back Badger enough that offense is required from number 62, I.
It's a 20-point jam for Montreal, 7 points for Sacramento.
And up comes Ko Kenzie in the lead. Ko Kenzie coming to the front, calling it off, shutting out Sacramento with only a 3-point gain.
Only 7 minutes left in this game as we reset one more time.
Namaste versus Scar to beat you. And a forearm penalty is being called and now acknowledged. Namaste is in the lead for Sacramento. Quickly engages and is knocked back by Montreal. And again, showing that Montreal will do the 3-wall if such an occasion occurs, but don't always reform into it. If one player will do, one player does it. For half a second, I thought that Scar 2BT was going to just crawl through those other players.
This will be a power jam for Montreal. Cut just called on Namaste, headed to the penalty box.
Scar 2B2 coming one more time for 4 more points. Sacramento's wall being hammered through by Montreal's pivot. A cutting the track penalty is now taking out Namaste one more time. And a directional penalty is being called also against Sacramento. Shock and Auburn going to the box for Sacramento for that directional. Timeout Sacramento. 4.5 minutes left in the game.
Good to use up that last clock stoppage. Score as we go into the very end of the game is 347 for Montreal. 119 for Sacramento.
And I just received a message just now. The Big O 2019 t-shirts go on sale at 3 p.m. today. So if you've not yet gotten your Big O t-shirt, they can't guarantee sizes because they're trying to sell out, but they're going to slash the prices at 3 p.m. today. Be sure to pick up your Big O merch to remember this tremendous, tremendous tournament.
This is Montreal's official review.
Great.
It's Black's official review. Black is asking on a form penalty for white pivot in the previous jam.
So while we're waiting for the official review to be officially reviewed, I want to give thanks to Hot Mama's Wings for hosting the Friday after party, the Beer Stein here in Eugene for hosting the Saturday after party, and of course both Spectrum Bar and Sizzle Pie for hosting the today after parties. And I will tell you, I went to Spectrum last night just on a whim. It was delightful.
That is good to know.
Really delicious food from everyone. So I agree with this choice. I did not make this choice. I agree with it.
Just agree with it. It's okay to agree with the choice. Just a reminder that our jam line is brought to you by Derby Warehouse, derbywarehouse.com for all your derby gear needs.
And we know there's a lot of derby gear needs. Derby is
Gear intensive.
gear intensive. If you don't get your gear, you can't play. If you don't get the right gear, you can't play to your optimum level.
I mean, you want to make sure that when you're running on wheels, that everything is nice and safe and well equipped.
So your wheels don't pop off, your toe stops stay in place and actually stop.
All these things, all these very, very important things. Your knees and wrists and elbows are well protected, and your brain is encased in something protective and happy for you.
All of those things you can get at derbywarehouse.com. Free shipping, free returns, Derby Warehouse. And it looks like we're coming to the final conversation of the official review, so we should find out shortly what the result is.
Upon review, a penalty will be issued to the white pivot.
It's a little hard to hear in this room. I'm hoping at home you're heard better.
But it looks like whatever was asked for was not given, so that official review is not retained. And Falcon Punch goes on in with a new lead jam. Gets a hard hit there from Sacramento blocker. Which blocker is that? Crystal. And again, I can't say enough about number 9999 Mange just being a one-person ability to open up the wall, block players that need blocking, move the track around, and just plowed, again, Mange just plowed the opposing jammer into the inside line.
That's Bigley Smalls up front. Imange also, but Namaste able to get around both of them, is now scoring eligible, going to force the call off. We'll see what the final point total is. 16 for Montreal, 119 for Sacramento.
And it took the might of all three players to knock down Body to the inside. Rogue Runner just deciding to break the seam. Takes a whip off of, who is that teammate up at the front?
Everybody's skating too fast for me to see.
That was number
Don't
289, Cheese Grater.
Don't adjust your eyes. They are all skating the wrong way. It's cool. It's cool. There is no wrong way in roller derby. Put your numbers on the front of your jerseys. Anyway.
And out goes Cheese Grater into the penalty box.
Through the middle, Rogue Runner goes. Finally getting those hard-earned 4 points. Oh, excuse me, initial pass. Not points. Don't mind me.
It's been a long 3 days. And the jam is called, and Montreal is requesting a team timeout.
It's a minute and a half left in this game. Score is 367 to 119. That's going to bring you back from the timeout. Don't forget you can use hashtag BigO2019 in all your tournament posts this weekend. We'd love to see what you're doing.
And up comes Badger versus Body. Badger winning the moment with the lead jam. Badger came in quite hard against that Sacramento wall. Able to bust through. This is still a power jam as Body remains in the box. And that was a star pass. New jammer of record for Sacramento, number 124, Crystal. The standard pivot star receiver for Sacramento of this game.
We're in a team timeout. Looks like Montreal took their final clock stoppage. The only clock stoppage not used is this half Sacramento official review. Otherwise, they both use their official reviews in the first half. Montreal used their official review in this half. All of the team timeouts are gone.
You know, I rarely see all of the timeout and reviews taken in a game. I think that's just the style of these teams today.
Yeah, let's stop the clock. Take some time.
Yeah.
Have a chat.
Why not?
And they would have started another jam anyway, so why not have a minute before you do that?
Heck yeah. Take a breather. Get your strategies together.
going to be Kaio Kenzie jamming against Namaste.
And up comes Kaio Kenzie into the lead. And a forearm penalty is taking out Sacramento jammer Namaste. This is a Power Jam Montreal. And that's the period clock. There shall be no more jams.
Eight now on the board for Kaio Kenzie.
Such good blocking there from Sacramento. Not enough to completely hold back Kaio Kenzie, but gives it, makes it harder. And that's a multiplayer block being assessed against Sacramento's 67 Rose Villain. And new jammer of record, Rhodes Warrior, being pushed to the outside, recycled back by fellow pivot, asking for an extension of the wall to cycle Rose as far back as possible.
Huge jump there, Kaio Kenzie. Up to 24 on the jam. Running out of time, though.
And that's the game. The clock ended. Both of these teams played so well.
So close.
That's $3.99 for Montreal, $1.19 for Sacramento.
And I want to give a big thank you to both of these teams coming out and playing so hard. I want to give a big thank you to my fellow announcer, October Revolution.
Boy, thank you, Mimi.
Thank you.
I'm like mumbling your name. Thank
Mimi
you, Mimi
Theisenhower.
Theisenhower. Yeah.
The one, the only. And thank you all for joining us on the stream at home. We hope you enjoyed all of your games at the Big O this year. And there's still more to come, so
Yeah,
join us.
Next on this track is Gorge versus Sonoma. So
So-
stay tuned. It's been about half an hour.
All right, take care, everyone. Have a good day.
Bye-bye.